Boring clothes often create the best outfits. And I don't mean something eccentric, something extra special. I mean something that you can just grab and put together in under a minute. I totally used to be that person who had tons of clothes and nothing to wear. I just refused to do this anymore to myself. It's exhausting. I don't want to do this. Now I have a pretty small wardrobe. It is still very much work in progress, but I am developing it in a way that I can always grab something that I love, that fits me well, that works together with other items. Because every single garment is designed to work for my body and my style. And I also have a few mini capsules where everything works with everything. Getting dressed every morning is now the easy part. It's the fun part. I don't have clothes that I don't wear anymore. And the majority of my wardrobe is built of plain and simple garments. Lots of separates like t-shirts and bottoms and different jackets. So it's easy to style, it's easy to mix and match, and I love it. Okay, let me take off the jacket because it's way too hot. And you might hear me talking about simple, boring garments and go, wait, but you have ruffles on your t-shirt. Yes, and I can also do this. But if you stop focusing on the busy pattern of the t-shirt and the ruffles, you'll see that this is a very simple, very plain, boxy top. I am still in the process of building my base. I am still figuring things out, and sometimes I create something that really works and sometimes not so well. Sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I choose wrong colors or maybe wrong designs, and it's okay. Because I'm testing it, I'm testing my clothing by actually wearing it and realizing, do I like it? Do I hate it? Does this outfit represent who I actually am? Does it help me express myself? Does it make me feel good? That's the purpose. And this process is, well, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So for me right now, the priority is simple, boring clothes, because they will help me build more outfits, and by building more outfits I can quicker understand what works, what doesn't. And when it comes to clothes making education, I also strongly believe that it's very important to get the base right, and later you can get more creative, experiment more, but it's so much easier once you have the base sorted. So while you're trying other things, you already have a solid base to wear that makes you feel good about yourself every single day. You know what I mean? Because look, there is a difference between just making clothes that fit you and making clothes that fit you and you love to wear because they reflect who you are. This is an easy part. This I cracked ages ago, so this is sorted. But now I'm working on this part. And this bit here is about figuring out your personal style, is figuring out what is it that you actually love to wear, what speaks to you, what makes you feel really good. And this really takes time. Because I guess as many of you, I used to have clothes that technically fit right, but it just didn't feel like me, and I couldn't understand why, because by the book, you know, it fits like a glove, it's perfect, but I'm just wearing it and I'm not feeling it because it's not me. The whole styling bit is the next step after learning how to make clothes that fit you. And the quickest way to make this bit work is to sort this and then to start figuring out what simple garments work here. Because yes, it's just a t-shirt, it's just a pair of shorts, but what t-shirt cut is it? What fit is it? What fabric? What color is it? If it's the shorts, what is the material? What is the cut? What is the fit? What is the length? Because just a garment, t-shirt, shorts, kimono jacket, on their own, they could be anything, and different people can have different ideas about them. But when you figure out exactly what t-shirts you love to wear, exactly what shorts work for you, exactly what jackets make you feel really nice and cool, that's when the real magic happens. But like in any art form, to break the rules and figure out your personal style, you first want to learn the rules. You want to learn how it actually works. And the easiest way to learn how to make clothes that actually work for your body and fit you very well is not by buying more sewing patterns, because a perfect ready pattern designed for your body does not exist. But there is a much quicker and easier way to make clothes, and it's called pattern drafting. How it works: you turn your body into your individual custom pattern blocks. They are basically the blueprint that contains your body measurements, your posture, and your ease preference. And once you have all of this sorted, you can then design sewing patterns based on these blocks. And the best news is the garments that you create will always fit you. Why? Because they're based on you in the first place. Now, let me show you quickly how I designed today's outfit using my custom pattern blocks. How to make a simple jacket with a kimono style opening using the basic blocks. I'll be using my blocks with 40 centimeter ease because it creates nice and beautiful and relaxed fit. First, I copy my blocks as they are. Next, I decide on the length of my jacket. And now, what do I do with the side seam? I do love an A-line, so I want it to be slightly opening up at the bottom. Nothing crazy wide, but this really allows the jacket to sit nicely around the hips, kind of flowing away from them. And one more thing here, lift up my hem towards the side seam a bit to hit here the right angle. Same on the other side, on the front. And the last part here on the front, I need to change my neckline because for the kimono opening, it needs to be straight. So I don't need this. From the shoulder down, it's a little bit soft. So it's not as a straight line, it's a little bit goes here on the softer curve. That's the body pattern ready. I can cut it out. So front and back are ready. Next will be the sleeve. I am not using the standard sleeve block when I'm working with oversized garments because I don't like the fit. This cap is way too high. It restricts the movement. Instead, I will turn this sleeve into a sports sleeve. I copy this block as it is first and I cut it out. And I want to draw a funny shape that kind of resembles a fringe, like a curve this way. And somewhere in the middle, more or less, I also draw vertical lines this way. And now I will cut it from the armhole up the way. And then this little bit up. Same on the other side. I want to spread it open this way, a little bit up, and this way as well. Okay, on each side. The easiest way to do that is to glue it. So the main body of the sleeve doesn't change. Only these bits parallel to this original line. I correct my seam on the back, the curve, and on the front. And now I cut this shape out. And the last part is to add a pocket. It will be a very simple rectangular shape patch pocket, and that's it. The very, very last part is to add the trim. When it's all stitched, I will measure this full length. So this is half, right? Multiply by 2 to get the full length and cut a long strip of fabric. That's it. That's my kimono coat pattern ready. How to make a pattern for the shorts. First, we're gonna copy the tops of our basic trouser blocks. Obviously, the length will depend on how long you want your shorts to be. I'm kind of going a little bit above the knee. You design the length of your shorts on your inner seams. You take the tape measure, put it on the rib, and you mark the same length on each side, front and back. So this is my new inner seam length. I love an A-line short, so I go ahead to my line before the hip depth and I just extend it straight down this way, so it creates a nice and subtle A-line shape on each side. And now I put my ruler here, and the goal is to get to the 90-degree angle over here. So the hem on the shorts goes a little bit up this way. See here, I'm hitting 90 degrees. Doesn't matter which side you do first, back or front. And now I measure this length so that my side seams match, and do the same here. And that's it. That's my shorts pattern done. Nothing else changes. One thing I usually do here, I remove the front dart and I chop it off from the side seam here. It does the same job. And now to add a pocket to the front, I just decide on the shape. I realize that for me, I prefer just straight diagonal lines. For the pocket, I go ahead and I copy my waistline and my side seam. Now I draw the pocket shape like that. And now I copy it again for the pocket lining, chop off my pocket entrance, align the waistline and the side seam, and copy the entrance and remove this corner. That's done. So pocket base, pocket lining, and my short front. And now last few details, the shield for the fly zip, basically rectangular shape with slight curve, and I designed it based on the size of my zip. You don't have to design a pattern for the waistband. Basically, it's just a long rectangular shape, and that's it. That's the pattern for the shorts with pockets. Done. How to make a pattern for a simple boxy t-shirt. This is a simplified block where the bodice and the sleeve are one piece, and actually I don't even draw separate patterns for tops like this. I just use my block, which is cut out of harder cardboard, and just copy it right away onto the fabric. The only difference here is that I have two necklines. This one, higher one, is for the back and lower one is for the front. And in case of this t-shirt, I even cut it from one piece of fabric, so there are no shoulder seams. The only other detail I'm adding is the trim for the neckline. I'm measuring the entire circumference of the ready neckline, and depending on the stretch of the fabric, I will cut out a separate trim which will be 20 to 30% shorter than the full circumference of the neck, and that's it. That's the entire t-shirt pattern. And I'm not making a separate pattern for the ruffles because it's basically just a very long gathered strip of fabric attached to the sleeves. You see how quick and easy that was, because once you understand the base, you don't have to do guesswork anymore. You can just take your block and design a pattern in a matter of minutes. And as I already said, the result will always fit you because it's based on you. So if you would love to learn clothes making in a structured, sense-making way, I do invite you to check our online clothes making courses. All the details via the link below this video. The sooner you learn how to design and make simple, boring, everyday clothes, the sooner you'll create yourself a wardrobe that actually works for you. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.